and let the record show that all members are present, as well as others in the audience. And if you'd all join me for a moment of silence, please. Please stand. Pledge allegiance. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Does anybody have any adjustments to the agenda today? I have two. I'll give you an update on a conversation I had with NC Dot, and then also update on discussion with the pool management firm.
Okay.
Anybody else have anything?
No.
I get a move to accept the,
I move to accept the agenda.
all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Okay, next thing, we have a consent agenda, the approval of the minutes for special closed section of a regular meeting. Do I have a move to accept the consent agenda?
I'll make a move.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, public comment period for anything not listed on the agenda. If anybody'd like to bring anything up? Okay.
I'm not sure what was listed, to tell you the truth.
Yeah, we did both of them.
We did.
both of them.
But my concern
Okay.
is
Well,
the water.
For you.
Excuse me?
Would you go get up to the podium?
Oh, no.
Did she?
Yeah, oh, yes.
I think someone had something.
Is he gonna score up the agenda for it?
She wants to be escorted.
Oh, I can do that too. I mean, you can move that.
My concern,
Please hold it. You gotta get your microphone.
Crazy rules.
Can you
Yeah,
please identify yourself and your address, please?
Rebecca Davenport, 19 Bobolink Road.
Right.
My concern is the water from Bobolink. The rainwater is horrendous. I've been fighting it for a long time. I've lived here for 22 years. It has only gotten worse in the last few years. And one reason is because they cleared the lot across the street, and there's a culvert underneath the street from that lot to me. And that made it a lot worse, that part. But it's just this deep going down the road just for rainwater. And I think I have sent some pictures in, and probably you have seen them.
Yes. Okay.
And
We are looking at those drainage issues across the whole village, so, yeah. We are not ignoring you.
okay, but I will not get an answer.
Yeah.
Is that right?
That's correct.
Okay,
Thank you.
thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Anybody else have anything else?
Mary Ann Lauer, 22 Deer Track Road. Across the street from us is a house that's been vacant. I've heard it's been foreclosed on, I'm not sure. But is there anything the village can do or about that? Do you know the house?
I know, on the corner?
Yeah.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
I only know a little bit. Okay to answer,
Oh.
or not? Should we just
Go
take
ahead.
it and then lease the fire back?
Yeah. Go ahead, yeah.
Yeah, the reason I mention it is I don't want you to go away without understanding, there is a process, and it starts with Lisa Kivett. It goes through a long process because of the nature of, usually of that kind of a default or something like that, but did you by any chance let Lisa know about that or advise her of that? Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I
Lisa?
know Lisa.
Yeah.
Have you reported a concern, I guess is the
Yeah,
question, on the website? That would be the first and best thing to do to get something, at least.
I know,
Can we just do it for-
Pinehurst is way
Can we do it
behind
for-
on
No.
handling foreclosures and
Need to look
things
at
like that, so. Court Parsons, so.
Yeah,
Yeah, I mean, they always talk about all how much money they have and stuff, but I don't know, things could be speeded up. It's just an eyesore.
yeah, we're lucky we don't have too many, but please reach out to Lisa so the process can get going. Because it can be a long, arduous
Yeah, it's been that way
process.
for.
We're concerned
quite a
if
while.
it's
Yeah.
overgrown or what the issue is.
Thank you,
Yeah,
thank you
that's-
very much.
And
You
it's
know what
kind
the
of a
issue is.
danger to the house to leave it like that, but we can.
Agreed.
You know what the address is on that, Marianne?
I got yours at 22 Deer Track,
Yeah,
Right across the street.
right across the street
it's
from
not
you.
19, it's.
It's probably pretty obvious, isn't it?
Why we have it?
Well,
Thank
Oh,
you.
think of it.
Okay,
Don, we talked about that.
is that the one we talked about?
Yeah, that's turned over the HUD.
It's in receivership,
She was asking.
and that's all, and there's nothing much else we can do. Hmm?
I think Deer Track's back there.
Yeah, that's the one. That's it. Okay, anybody have anything else? Okay, council members report, finance,
Okay,
Councilwoman Goodrich.
yes. Okay, well, tax bills went out, and I just heard from Sharon that money is coming in. So, at the moment, as of the end of August, our general fund, we have a total of $1,945,203. Of that, we have reserved funds of $985,209. And then the balance of $959,994 are not reserved. In the water fund, we have a total of $1,255,544. And liquid funds, we have $894,468, and reserved funds, we have $361,076. Now, one thing that I just wanted to mention, I did meet with the auditor briefly this week. So they have started their audit, and I don't expect to get back around with him probably until the end of the month. Which he will give us a little bit better feeling about our standings and where our fund balance needs to be, so that we know what kind of extra liquid funds we can
Right,
maybe
yeah,
reserve, or
yeah.
at least not reserve and do other things with. One thing that I've been on a mission to do is to kind of get a little bit more money for the village as far as the interest rates on the funds that we have. And we did get the bank to give us 50 basis points on the money that we
Right.
have not in our checking account. And what I've also gotten is information from North Carolina Capital Management Trust, which is actually the only place that municipalities can invest their money
Right.
outside of banks. And right now, I still have to have some discussions with them, but they're paying about 2%, a little over 2% right now on funds. And the funds can be moved in and out, they're not locked up, it's not in CDs, it's just an account separate from your bank. So I think once we figure out where our money buckets
where we are, yeah.
can be, we can make a lot more money on our cash,
Yeah.
or on the money that we're not using.
Correct.
So I'll be working on that over the next few weeks, and then bring a proposal together so we can decide on what we're gonna do there.
Okay.
So that, I think, was all that I had.
Question, we have,
Oh, one other thing, I'm sorry, I did meet when I was with the auditor, as far as collections on, property taxes that are delinquent.
Yeah.
He said one of the best things to do, and I am gonna do, is to speak with our attorney on especially which ones are worth
Worth it,
collecting,
worth it, yeah.
that we should be collecting, and also I'm gonna be calling the county and seeing,
What they-
are these people paying their county taxes,
tax, yeah.
but not paying their, Foxfire taxes? I don't know. But I would think that if someone hasn't paid their county taxes in 15 years, the county's gonna do something about it.
Something.
So, I don't know what we have available, but I really would like to do that. And that is about it.
We made our next to last payment for the water fund in August.
Yes,
We have
we have
one more
one
next
more
year.
payment of $26,000, which is due in August of 2023. So,
And we will have no debt.
right.
Nice.
Any questions? Okay, next up, streets and parks. Councilwoman now.
Okay, just a update on the park trail. I did have, Brad Williams, who is the son of Robbie Williams, who actually did the original trails for us way back when. Does anybody know what year the trails were put in?
I do not.
Okay, well, anyway,
Around the same time the
Built, the
park
park was built, yeah.
is
I
it
couldn't-
2005-ish?
5 or 6, yeah.
Okay. So, Robbie retired, his son is now taken over. Brad Williams actually takes care of all of Pinehurst's walking trails. And he came in, had him come and look. He did some prelim work for us. That we had 5 areas that just were horrendous again. He was going to fix those, he did fix those, and he fixed the rest of the trails for us. He did not have to do that, but he went through the whole trail system and did it for us. Next year, in next year's budget, I'm gonna have him come back and he's gonna do like an asphalt type of in those 5 areas. I did go through today, and with all the rain we had, they actually held up.
I was gonna say, does he have any kind
I don't
of
know.
guarantee on what he does, or does
Well,
he?
Yeah.
what he'd like to do, and I think I'm gonna explore this option, because he does know how to take care of trails. And what he does, he proposed to us is that for a fee, a maintenance fee for the year, he would maintain them monthly for us. So,
Did he give you a price on that?
yeah, well, he was in the ballpark around $7,000 for the whole year.
How much?
7,000
For the year?
for the year,
And we would take that off of Ricky's
Yeah, that's-
Yes.
contract.
that's pretty
yes,
reasonable.
or whoever, cause I'm.
Whomever, yeah.
Because right now, based on what's been happening, or I should say what has not been happening with those trails, they have not, he doesn't know how to take care of them. And, so I'm gonna look into that option and explore that, but he's gonna come back next year and, when I can get it back in the budget, and, fix those other areas that are problem children.
But those bad areas, they held up pretty good with this last 4
Yeah,
inches.
this last rain, yeah, I went
we
through
got.
'em. So what were you gonna say?
So I use them 2 to 3 times a week.
Uh-huh.
And I did notice that there was washout, and I did see that today, it looks like today he went through.
He went
maybe
through
a-
it, yeah.
And he kind of pushed some stuff in there, but there was definitely washout.
Was there?
Yeah. So I like the idea to explore
The
coming
maintenance?
back on the regular grooming, and I think that's all it is, it just needs to be regular.
Yeah, and that's what he said.
But it's a lot better than it was,
Yeah.
really is. I did run into a couple of folks while I was back there, they asked about the signage, on whether the signage was gonna be repaired, and then a couple also were talking about, they used to have some plant species identifiers and things
Yeah,
like that.
We took those out.
Okay, there's still some logs there, they
It-
stopped and that's where they pointed it to, said, there used to be those. Okay.
We're taking those out.
Okay, okay.
Yeah.
Good.
But no,
But
I was
let's
thinking
get-
about talking to, Jack, Leslie's husband? Yeah, and asking him to do some signs, because I've talked to a couple people who said they got lost coming out.
Yeah, that's possible. That's
I know.
possible.
You can get into a loop.
I did.
Really?
Yeah, you
No,
take,
no,
take
I-
one of those water runoff trails,
Yeah.
the next thing you know.
I'll fess up, the first time I went back there, I was like, how do I get out of here? So they need some signs, another lady told me she got lost, and I was like, I sympathize with you, I understand, so.
It made me think of the movie on D-Day when they pushed the signs the wrong way, you know, in
Yeah.
Germany.
So I was thinking, I know Jack is a woodworker, and I was gonna ask him to kinda get exit signs or something going, but yeah, so we're working on that.
Cool.
Alright, so food truck vendor permits, I sent everybody what I put together. I did add one piece to it that you didn't see. I asked for the most recent inspection report that the food truck vendors have. They were sent out to the 2 food truck vendors that will be participating in the carnival, next week. And, while we're talking about the park, I did have Ricky go out and mark with a flag every one of our sprinkler heads, which all had to be replaced this year to the tune of $500. And there's quite a few as you go into the park on the left side. There's probably about 15 of them. And I know now why they all had to be replaced, because on a trunk or treat last year, that's where everybody was parking. So, and I know they're older, but they did get replaced this year, but I'm asking everybody to kind of come up with something. Right now I have flags, so at the carnival, I want those flags there so they don't park their cars on them. But somehow we can mark them permanently, so, because we're gonna have the trunk or treat again, probably in October, and and Ricky's gonna have to be mowing back there. So.
I was gonna say, they have mowers that go over them all the time. Why?
Well, yeah,
The mowers
but,
can go over them.
yeah.
But not a golf cart?
No, these were cars that were parked.
Cars in the
Oh,
parking
cars.
lot.
Oh,
Yeah.
cars, gotcha.
The cars were on the grass.
Yeah, the sprinkler head dropped down, but then they,
Yeah.
So, if somebody can come up with an idea where we can permanently mark those areas, cause there's quite a few of them. And I
All
don't,
you can do is flag them, that's about all you can do is flag
I
them.
think,
Yeah.
the way to try to
Red
cut
flag,
the
and
grass.
that's all you can do, or else fence the whole thing off, that's.
Well, we can't do that.
I know
You can
that,
put-
but you can't put a sign up for every one of the quicker as that either.
yeah,
You could probably put up a PVC pole or something. Put it out there, but that's,
Yeah.
but then you
Landscaping.
got other issues.
Yeah.
You still got the issue of cutting the grass.
right,
So,
right.
We need to think about it.
Okay, well, I'd like everybody to put their thinking cap on for that, if you don't mind. Okay, so that, and then, the pool, and I'm sorry Andy's not here today. Never mind. He had a little mishap. I think all we need to do is put the sign back up. I looked at it today. He hit it with his
Oh,
helmet.
yeah.
Oh,
He
yeah.
broke his cart pretty good.
Did he?
Did hear about that?
Oh,
Yeah.
well, he must have, because it was in the ground pretty good. It's down now.
He broke his cart.
At least he fessed up and reported it, so I appreciate that. I did go through the pool area. All of the equipment has been stored in the storage area, so there is nothing in the pool house. So, 2 things we're gonna have to do if we're gonna keep those bathrooms open during the day. We're gonna have to get like a padlock or something for the women's room, so we can close that off and leave the men's room open. And I'm gonna have to come up with a lock, so if a woman or a man are in the men's room,
I
they can
gotta
lock
do
the
some
door.
thinking about that. I don't think I'm ready to shut them both off, but I understand what you're saying. If we don't have to have water in the one.
Well, and then it's cleaning both of them and
Yeah.
everything else, and, I
mean,
think we can leave one open.
Yeah, we have to leave one open for sure.
Yes, yes.
And I'm not sure,
Just make it a unisex?
Yes.
There's not that many people, I don't think, are gonna be using it.
Yeah.
Well, the men's room has
That's
the
the
urinal and a stall,
yeah.
where the women's room doesn't have the urinals, so
Right.
that's why I thought we could leave the the men's room open, shut off the water to the women's room, bathroom. But,
Okay,
okay, so, yeah, but at least we can,
Good.
when I come back next week, I will, we'll talk about what we wanna do, but I don't think, we'll at least have Chad, and I talked to Chad about this.
the chief knows,
Yeah, well, we'll start next week with it, when
so
I'm
that's a
back.
part of our process then. They'll be open during the day and closed in the evening.
And I'll make sure, just let me know how many keys you want, and we'll go from there.
Okay.
And there may be a day or two where the police don't come in, and, officer doesn't come in until 10 o'clock, you know, I can run over there and just open it up, it doesn't matter, because, yeah.
Okay.
Okay?
Anybody
Anybody
have
else?
anything for Janet? Okay, public safety, Councilman Nelson.
Okay, police report. Chief Shu is back there. Want to bring us up to speed.
Not much to report on today. There are a couple of things I wanted to hit and follow up on. First and foremost, the vehicle situation. I pretty much spun my tires going and speaking to a couple of the local dealerships about seeing if they could compete with the contract, and it's just the way the economy is, no one's really able to budge. I did reach out to Performance Dodge in Clinton this morning, and she said they did receive the numbers. I'm just waiting on my quote to come in. But we're guessing somewhere around 36 is what we're gonna be looking at for that Charger. And that's gonna be the cheapest vehicle you're gonna get right now. Our new employee, we did move forward with a new employee at the police department, a full-time employee. We got his background and everything finished and submitted to the state. We're hoping to have him come out Monday morning, sort of kind of like we did with Jesse, and get him started on paperwork and getting some of the administrative stuff out of the way, so when his certificate does come in, we go and get him sworn in and get out on the road. So look forward to probably him coming Monday or Tuesday next week and starting some admin stuff then. We did get a couple of radars in from the state that we earned by participating in the Governor's Highway Safety Initiative. We earned points for checkpoints and DWI stuff, and we earned enough points to get a couple of new radar units for the vehicle. So that saved us about $8,000
Nice.
on equipment. Jesse should have got his phone today. I saw where it tracked. It was sent here today, so he should have his new phone through FirstNet with our department.
Okay, does he know that? I talked to him when he was getting ready to take off. He didn't mention it, but that doesn't mean he didn't get it.
Sharon probably more than likely has signed for it.
Okay, cool.
I know she gets all the packages, but I did see where it was delivered today,
Good.
so
Thanks
you
for
should
doing
have
that.
a phone starting tomorrow.
Thanks for doing that.
The carnival, can you kind of get me up to speed on that, because I'm kind of in the dark on the whole carnival thing.
We're gonna have a carnival. It's gonna be next Saturday.
Okay.
This is Foxfire having a car?
Well, it's the FPOA.
Oh, FBO.
So it's just gonna, don't quote me on the hours, I think it's like 12 to 4 or something like that.
Okay.
I'll have to get the
So
flyer.
mid-afternoon
Yeah.
stuff.
No, what?
12 to 3.
12 to 3?
Twelve.
Thank you.
Okay.
Okay.
I just want to make sure I have an officer over there for
You don't have to, I mean,
Well, I just, with carnival.
you know, you can
kids,
kinda go through,
That's fine. I just, again, I didn't know about it, so I want to make sure
yeah.
that we.
It's just, they're gonna have 2 food trucks and some games, some vendors and things like that. So
Okay.
they're just
I know
gonna,
something for sure.
yeah, it's,
Okay.
it's gonna be all families, so,
That's what
basically.
we like. That's what we like.
No, it should be fine.
Yes,
Jeff,
ma'am.
if you're gonna have an officer there, do you think it might be a good idea to have Maverick there as well?
I will talk to Gary and see if, I don't know, I'm gonna be out of town this weekend. I'll ask Gary if he can take him up there, because it needs to be one of us too. But definitely, we'll see if we can't get him out there.
That would be nice.
Yeah,
Would that be okay, you think?
I don't know what that is.
Our dog,
The dog,
Oh,
canine?
oh, thanks.
Little kids run slow, so he,
he's just a big kid himself, so. I mean,
Sorry about liability insurance.
Right.
Well, speaking of that, they do have liability insurance.
Circling back around kind of to the car thing, I knew initially when I planned on getting the car this year, I was going off of last year's number, and like I said, last year the same car was $23,000.
Oh, God. Guess we should have bought it then, huh?
I guess, I probably need to check with our vendor on equipment too. Do you want me to get just a full quote once I get all the numbers together?
Yeah, because we're gonna have to do a budget amendment on that. I mean, it's not that we don't have money to do this,
Right, I know I'm
obviously, we have to
gonna
make
be way in the
money
black on that, so,
in the red.
or in red, I'm sorry, I'm colorblind.
That's
Not really.
okay. As long as I know which way it's going, that's all that counts.
Yeah, so I didn't know if you wanted to get just a whole brand new, once I get all the numbers for everything, so bear with me, I'll get you a printout of everything itemized.
So
And,
from 23 to 36.
Yeah, it went from 23 to 36 for the cheapest one I found so far. So, and that's everybody across the whole state's paying, so.
Yeah,
We've always been pretty blessed to coattail with the sheriff's office and highway patrol and get their rates, and that's what their rates have gone to this year.
Wow.
Yeah, we'll just have to do it.
Okay. All right, well, I'll be touching base with you then once I get that together.
Question for you on the new officer.
Mhm.
Have we implemented the reimbursement agreement?
No, what we were gonna do was wait until, I guess, they got started, because we decided that we could not do that until they actually got a paycheck.
Okay,
So
we are
that's,
going to implement that.
I didn't think we had, I don't think we can. What are you talking about?
Then if you leave within a year, you pay us back for your uniforms and all that. We talked about this, we approved it sometime back.
I don't think we approved it.
no, it.
Yeah, we did.
No.
We talked about that at length.
It's only one paycheck anyway, that's all you're gonna get.
Yeah.
No, I thought, it's actually uniforms you cannot, as far as I know, North Carolina law will not let you charge for uniforms.
Our biggest.
Only if they leave before their time.
No, I think,
We talked about this. I will go back at the minutes.
no, we didn't, we
Oh,
never
yeah, we
agreed
did.
that we would, we said we would,
Said
we
we were
would like
going
to
to.
do it.
Said we were going to.
Mm,
So I'll go back.
That
and
was, it
correct
was one, I remember the argument, it was
Yeah.
because I know that I lost a lot of money.
Exactly.
2 years back to
2 years,
back
right.
on hiring, leaving, hiring.
Yep.
And every time we hire someone, North Carolina has enacted a new law that if it's someone that's not a lateral transfer, they are required to have the psych evaluation done, which is equivalent of about $800.
Mhm.
And I was doing 2 or 3 of those a year, and it was adding up quick. And I know we had talked about it, but I think it got kind of put on hold because we didn't know if we could do it before they were hired or not.
Right.
Well, I know.
I'll verify that.
I know.
I thought we had agreed that since that was costing us money and there was no downside to it, we were gonna go ahead and do this.
I don't think we can.
Well, let's
Based
find
on
out
labor
because
laws, I don't think we can.
that's not what I remember. I could have a faulty memory, but I don't remember that discussion coming up that we couldn't do it at all. So let's find out.
Maybe it was
Okay.
That's what we got a lawyer for.
Check on that.
Now, say,
Okay, good.
Mr.
Thanks.
Bird probably
Great.
know what we need on that. Outside of that, that's all I have. I just kind of short and sweet on mine.
Thank you.
Cool.
Thanks,
All right,
Chief.
thank you.
Thanks, Jeff.
One other thing, we requested bike signs for Hoffman and Richmond Road
From the county.
through the DOT, and they know about it, they just haven't came back to us, so that's kind of on hold. I got a little information on our car vehicle report. The July and August, we spent $3,156 for gas, for fuel. And we put on about 11,000 miles in that period of time. Mileage per car, Chief Shu's car gets about 20.81 miles per gallon, which is very, very good. Officer Judd, he's got the blue Charger, he's on the road speeding all the time, so making all kinds of arrests, his at 9.25. And we got Lieutenant Garner's Ford pickup truck at 18.04 miles per gallon, which is great. And the Ford Explorer is like 9.68 miles per gallon. And the Tahoe is like 10 miles per gallon. Anyway, the average fleet miles per gallon is 13.56 miles per gallon. And our cost per mile is 26.5 cents for each mile these vehicles go, so it's an interesting report. Okay, that's all for the police department. Now the fire department, we gave the contract, signed contract to the fire department of West End about a week and a half ago. I just got an email that they have signed it, so we have a contract for this year at .000885,
Oh, okay.
which is slightly more than we budgeted for, but it's close.
88, right?
000885.
Oh, right,
Yeah.
right.
So that's a done deal for this year, and I suppose next year we'll go through the same hassle, but it's
Yes.
done. And that's all I have.
Any questions? No? Okay. Next up, Water Department, Councilman Samuel.
Yep. I guess the main thing that I wanted to bring everybody up to speed on is how Jesse's doing. This is week 1, and he's really begun jumping in with both feet. When we did our walkthrough on the wells, there were several things that needed to be addressed within the facilities. exhaust fans and just repair the building and so forth. And he's begun working on that. And he's putting his purchase orders, doing everything as we've hoped to do. The best news I have is that he has now begun to order chemicals, so he's working with David, and they are getting that piece of the puzzle done for him. So I'm really happy about that. That's really all I have.
Delivery on the meters.
No update. No, still, there's no update.
That was due next week?
No, not till November.
Oh, I thought we had.
October, sorry, October.
When's Jesse going to Badger meter school?
November, I've got his date so I can share it with you, but he's already, on the dot, got his plane tickets, got his hotel reservations.
Are you paying for that?
Yep.
Personally?
Oh, no.
No.
Water department is though.
It's not coming out of my budget.
Anything else for Councilman Samuels?
Nope.
Okay, I have two things to update everybody on. I had a conversation with NC DOT today about how we get these roads approved going out there at Windy Ridge. And he said, basically, state doesn't care because they're not state roads, but he said, we can get a certification from them, the builders, that the road meets the standard, which is what they do for the state.
That's what we got.
They just take the certification from the builder. They do not inspect it or anything else, they take their certification.
The state.
The state does for state roads. So we will have to look at something like that down the road. And what he suggested is that we don't take those roads over until the last house is built.
Yep.
When they blacktop it now, they're gonna put the first coat down and build all the houses, so they don't, they're gonna wreck that blacktop.
They're gonna tear it up.
That's all,
And then the
that's all the
final-
CCRs.
The final bill, then they'll put the last layer up, but then we should have about a year guarantee on that.
Yes, we have a year
Yeah.
guarantee on that after we.
Same way
after we
with
get the road.
retention ponds too.
Yep.
They gotta be taken care of
Yep.
too.
Yep.
So, clarify again, how does the developer,
He
where
certifies,
does he get his
he
certification?
gets his off of the NC DOT regulations, and he certifies that he meets the regulations.
But nobody inspects the,
inspects
no
Nobody
one
inspects
tests,
it.
there's no test,
There's no tests.
so it's self-policed.
Yep.
So we can't bring someone in?
Yeah, they don't come out and inspect it.
We couldn't have someone like do a drill sample on the
I'm
road?
sure we could do something. if we wanna
Maybe
pay
call
for it.
Turner Asphalt in?
Hmm?
Call Turner Asphalt in and ask them?
Yeah, I don't know if we wanna do that. We'd have to look at an engineer.
I don't know how to do it.
Do we need to do that? I mean, it seems like this is.
Yeah, they don't do it, which surprised the heck
Well,
out of
to
me.
me, trusting, I shouldn't, to me, you should have an independent party.
Yes.
I
sort of
agree.
creating
Yes.
the certificate that the
And that-
developer
So
now,
they
Some
may
kind of
use,
an
they may
engineer.
use a independent, I don't know.
maybe we should
But we get a
mandate
certification
that
from
they
them,
make,
and we should demand that certification.
Yeah,
we should say that the certification needs to be signed off by an engineering firm.
yes,
We
I
can ask for
agree.
that, so.
They
Yep,
exist.
okay.
Yeah,
But they don't inspect that, which really surprised
Yeah,
me.
that's great.
yeah, that is a surprise.
But
Because we'd be responsible for them after the last house is
after
built,
a
right?
year, we have a year after that last.
After,
yeah.
okay, but we'd still be responsible for them.
Yeah, exactly.
So I think, yeah, I think we should have
Now,
them.
one of the things I'd like for you maybe to do and set it up, and maybe you and I can go down, to talk to the planning folks at either Pinehurst or Southern Pines, because they've had lots of these developments.
Okay,
So we can nail down the process so we know exactly how we need to do this. It's just kind of a first time for us.
all right, I'll
Dealing with
see if
it.
I can get it set up.
So we can say, I've got some names
I
and
got,
phone numbers.
I got the names and phone numbers for you for
Yeah,
Pinehurst.
Thank you.
That's a good idea.
Okay, so that's, so we're forward on that. And then the second thing, I did finally talk to a pool management firm today. They hope to have a ballpark quote by the end of the month.
Where are they out of?
They're out of Raleigh, I believe.
Ooh,
Yeah, so they asked, we were about 45 minutes on the phone trying to get some particulars. They offer like 3 packages, you know, the silver, gold, and platinum, you know, services, all of that.
Let's guess which one's the most
It's
expensive.
going to be fairly expensive, but we need to evaluate it when we get it to see if that's something we wanna pursue. But I thought that at least they returned my calls, the other people just haven't returned my calls or just sent me an email, so we don't do that.
Oh, okay.
Gives us a place to start at least.
It's a place to start.
Yeah.
Exactly. Okay. All right, anybody have any questions of me on those? Okay. Old business, any old business? And new business? Okay.
No.
All right, now I'll have public comments for anything that was discussed on the agenda. Everybody jump at once, please. Oh, sorry.
Barbara Okula, 4 Foxfire Circle. I used to trail all the time. And the big rocks are hard to work on. Are they gonna smooth them out somehow?
The new ones that they just put down?
Yeah.
Yeah, they'll get crunched in.
You think so?
Yeah.
Okay, because I almost twisted my ankle on something.
Unfortunately, we had to put the rocks in there because those areas are the problem areas.
Right, I understand.
Yeah, and they'll break down and they'll settle down.
Okay, I thought maybe you could put something over it.
Not yet,
Not yet.
not yet.
Oh, but there will be sometime?
Hopefully next year we're gonna get like an asphalt in those areas.
Oh,
So,
that'd be great.
yeah, unfortunately I couldn't afford it this year. So, it'll be in next year's budget.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Anybody else have anything? Okay. Can I get a motion to adjourn the meeting?
I'll make that.
All in favor? All opposed?
Quickest meeting.
Meeting is adjourned at 17:07.
Send me a text.